Well, there's one thing you have to say about me, and that's perseverance. This is currently my 11th attempt of recording this, and that's 11 times 20 minutes. God. So, quick summary of what's been going on. I was using the inbuilt screen recorder in Windows on the Xbox game bar. Doesn't work for doing what I was trying to do, and that was show you the dialog boxes of some of the things I've been doing, and I realized I needed to find a better way. I'm using OBS, and it's taken me a little while to figure this all out, and I had a few problems with levels, so let's just see how that comes out. Let's see if I can switch you over here. So yeah, I've got a little dialog window here down here so you can see me, and I'm here in DaVinci Resolve. You can see a project file I've got open. So what I was trying to show you guys is that I have a file system. Let's go into here. So at the bottom, if you don't know DaVinci Resolve, down here is everything that's in the project. I'm in the media bar down here, the media tab at the bottom left, and in the media bar, so in the master folder, I have a bin called footage, and in the footage I have all these bins, which is basically a summary of all the days of me filming whilst on the road. I've tried explaining in a more expanded version, but it didn't really help. So what I want to show you is my media management system before. So my media management system before, which is the system I'm going to have to work with moving forward, moving with this project, is as it is. So I have, when I was traveling on the road before, I'd create a folder for a day that I filmed footage, and then I'd drag from an SD card into that folder for that particular day. So if I had at the time I had 4 cameras. I had the 2 GoPros, 2 different versions of GoPro, and I had 2 Panasonic cameras. And I just drag all the video footage from those cameras into the relevant date folder, and then I'd put then I'd do that for every day of the time I was riding. Bear in mind, I was not getting my laptop out every day, so I would do that only on the days that I was having a rest day, where I'd just drag, and I'd spend best part of a few hours dragging all this footage into onto hard drives, and then backing up hard drives onto another hard drive. Anyway, the long and the short of it, this isn't about that. This is just to give you an idea of how I have all my footage and how I know what the footage is. And there are mistakes, trust me. But this is how I did it. So I named all my folders with a 6-number serial, which is the date. 15. Let's zoom in for that. Let's see the bottom left. Okay, hello. Down we are. So here, this particular, it's a folder, but it's also a bin. In this project file, it's a bin, and it's 150919, and then there's a hyphen, San Felipe hyphen Alfocinas. And so what does that mean? That is the date. 15 is the year, so that's 2015. 09 is the month, that's September, and 19 is the day of the month. So that's the 19th of September 2015. And I started the day in San Felipe, and I ended the day in Alfocinas. And so I would, a week or so later, whenever it was I stopped, I would get all the SD cards and drag everything that had that date on it into this folder. So there we go. And you know, from backing up hard drives and moving things about, you can see on this particular on these files the date's wrong. So it's 2017 February 18th. That's not when I filmed it, but that's when it was backed up. So it's good that I had this system in place, so I know that this is between San Felipe and Alfocinas, and I know that the date was that. Okay, next point. The let's come back to main camera. So I had this problem, and I have this problem I'm currently facing with it today. And the problem I have today is that a lot of this footage is GoPro. That's fine, but some of the footage is one of the Panasonic cameras, and that's all fine. None of that's a problem, but the way I use the cameras is very different. So I had an FZ1000, which is a big bridge camera. It wasn't a convenient camera to sort of carry around. It wasn't a camera that I would get out often, but I would use it for quite nice. I'd use it mostly on a tripod, and it produced quite nice footage. But I had also this TS6 camera, which was a thing I learnt to just live with in my pocket. I use it all the time, and I just use it for selfie footage. I'd carry it handheld, and I'd just be walking around filming myself, or just, you know, get it down on the ground. I quite liberally would just put it on the side of the road and drive past it, and I didn't really care that much about that camera because it was rugged. But now when I look at the folders, I'm scratching my head some of the time, because the file naming convention is the same. They're both Panasonic cameras, they both start with the letter P, and they all end with the file name MP4 extension. So what do I do? It's a nightmare. And then as for the GoPros, well, I had a GoPro Hero 2 and a GoPro Hero 4 Black. The quality of the Hero 4 Black is way superior to the Hero 2. And while it's not hugely relevant to me to try and tell the difference, it's just good to know for historic value that I knew that going down to Mexico, I used the Hero 4 mostly on third-person footage, and using this Hero 2 as first-person footage, like I'd have it on the chin bar. And then later, when I was traveling through the US afterwards, I've reversed it, because I realized that the Hero 4 had way superior footage and I wasn't using it as much on third person. So what am I trying to say here? Kind of keep it simple. I had a problem trying to tell the difference between these different pieces of footage, and so what did I do? I came down here and I used smart bins to tell the difference between one camera and the other. So I made smart bins for each camera, and I went to town on it. And what I realized was that so Hero 2, for example, all the footage on Hero 2 was, if I edit this and come down and zoom bottom left and bring this down into view for you, all Hero 2 footage that I had was either main L4.0. So what that means, sorry, what I mean to tell you here is that the codec on Hero 2 cameras was an H.264 codec with a main L4.0 format, I guess, or encapsulation. I don't really know what the suffix to H.264 is, but I'm guessing it's an extension of the codec type. So I could tell that from all my footage that all main L 4.0 was GoPro Hero 2. Similar with 4.1. Let's bring that down for you. And so what I did was I was able to filter all those clips that were there, and I just cross-referenced and made sure that there wasn't anything that might be an incorrect file name, and then I could tag it. So let's have a look here. I've got Hero 4, and if I go in there, we had a similar, different complication here. I was actually a little bit more prescriptive here in the filter, where I would make sure that the codec contains high L5.1, which is Hero 4 footage, and then I made sure that in addition to that, that the file name, the clip name, contained Go or GP. GoPro files, when they are filming and they get beyond a certain size, I think it's 4 gigabytes or something, it would create a new file but continue that clip, so you would end up with a bunch of different files for that same particular recording in succession. So I just made sure that was the case there, and so I made all these smart bins so I could detect what camera did what, and so that's method to my madness. And if I quickly bring you to the top right here, and you can see the metadata. If I select all these, oh, this might be slow. Right, up here in the metadata, you can see the codec here is H.264, high L4.1, and it's a GoPro footage clip. And if I go to camera, I've already done this, but just to show you that I've tagged the camera type and the camera manufacturer. So what I can do with that is now I know all my GoPro cameras, which one's which, and I've got all the cameras tagged. That's one step moving forwards. And so I've done all that to all of my clips, and now if I go into, say for example here, it's a time lapse, and I'm setting up my hammock, and that's pretty cool, hey? So what I can do here, if I go into my is it shot and scene? Yeah. So what I can do here, I can put in the description, it's time-lapse making camp. I put keywords, time-lapse, forest, camp setup. I can say it's a good take, and so you can't see that. Let's see how I can change that. So let's go to top right. Okay, so I've said it's a good take. I've put some keywords in here, and so I've gone through all of these things. So here I'm doing some yoga. I think I've got the same here. I'm doing some more yoga on here, and you know, you might find that funny, but yeah, when you're all day on the bike and I'm not doing anything other than riding a bike, you get tight. You get really tight. So bear in mind that, you know, I did all this, and it was really important to me to sort of get this. I recorded it, you know, like I might forget that I was taking care of myself. So yeah. So, you know, I haven't been through all this footage. I have as a cursory exercise, I quickly went through and I did a few bits here. So I got helmet cam, but you know, it doesn't really tell me much. I don't know what this footage is. I think that's going to be it for today. I'm just going to keep it there. I mean, this is 11 attempts I've made of recording this update, but I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to upload this as we speak. Please leave comments below what you think is useful. Do you want me to be more instructive about how I'm doing this and why I'm doing things, or is this the right kind of thing that you'd like to see? I think, how long has OBS been going? 15 minutes. I'm going to cut it off now. All right, catch you soon, and I will have more to share with you then. Right, take care.